The liver is the silent hero of our body. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't complain, it doesn't demand attention. Every day, it filters liters of blood, neutralizes toxins, processes fats, participates in hormonal exchange, and all of this without a hint of fatigue. We eat on the go, overeat at night, cope with stress by eating sweets, and wash it all down with coffee or something worse. Add to that medications, a sedentary lifestyle, and constant fatigue, and we have the typical portrait of daily life. The liver tolerates all of this for years, without complaints, until it starts to fail. The most dangerous part is that it deteriorates in silence, without pain, without obvious symptoms. And when the first signs appear, it's already a signal that the body has been working at its limit for a long time. You may feel generally fine, and your tests may be within normal ranges. But constant sluggishness, heaviness after eating, skin rashes, excess weight, sleep problems, or trouble concentrating, these can all be related to an overloaded liver. There is a statistic that makes you think. Most people's livers are already not functioning at full capacity, and many don't even realize it. One day, a professor who lived exactly 120 years said, "If you restore the liver, you will restore the whole body." These are not just grand words, but biological reality. The health of the heart, brain, immune system, skin, and even mood depends on the state of the liver. The good news is that the liver has a unique ability, the ability to regenerate. It just needs not to be hindered and to be helped, with natural remedies, without aggression, without violence against the body. Next, we'll explore what weakens the liver, what to do to gradually restore its strength, cleanse it, support it, and kickstart its recovery processes. If you feel your body needs more energy, if you want to improve your overall well-being, start with the liver. The liver's main enemy is hidden intoxication. The liver is the body's primary detoxifying organ. Almost everything passes through it. Food, water, air, medications, hormones, chemical compounds, even stress hormones produced in response to internal and external tension. This is not just a metaphor. The liver really neutralizes and processes a huge number of substances entering the body daily. It operates 24/7, without complaining or signaling, until the situation becomes critical. But every system has its limits. Modern humans live in conditions of constant poisoning, an issue known as hidden intoxication. This condition doesn't develop from a single large poisoning, but from a constant, cumulative load. Everything we eat, inhale, and even feel on an emotional level affects the liver in one way or another. Chemical additives in foods, excess sugar and fat, alcohol, medications, polluted air, household chemicals, and chronic stressor form an overall toxic background. The liver doesn't have enough time to process and eliminate all of this promptly, and toxins begin to circulate in the body, disrupting metabolism, provoking inflammation, and speeding up cell wear and tear. A person starts to feel the consequences of this disruption gradually. Constant fatigue, sluggishness, forgetfulness, skin rashes, heaviness in the stomach, irritability, weight fluctuations. Insomnia of this can be a result of an overloaded liver. But most often, a person doesn't even associate these symptoms with a malfunction in an organ that almost never hurts and remains silent until the last moment. The long-lived professor claimed, "Restoring the body is impossible if you continue poisoning it." This is the first and most important rule. No medications will help if daily intoxication continues. Therefore, liver recovery always begins not with adding something new, but with stopping harmful factors. He pointed out the three most destructive products: sugar, alcohol, and industrial sauces. Sugar destroys the balance of gut microflora and contributes to fatty degeneration of the liver. Alcohol, even in small doses, disrupts cell function and energy exchange. Store-bought sauces contain vinegar, monosodium, glutamate, and preservatives, which the liver perceives as toxic compounds and is forced to process under strain. By removing these three sources of stress, we give the liver its first and perhaps most important chance to recover. One fundamental approach is to ease the work of the digestive system as a whole. Simple homemade food, steamed or boiled, regular warm drinks, especially in the morning, and avoiding heavy meals at night create conditions in which the liver can start to regenerate naturally, without extremes. Without fasting, just creating an environment in which the body is able to activate its regenerative mechanisms. Data from the Institute of Nutrition confirms even a short-term exclusion of sugar and processed foods leads to a decrease in liver enzyme activity, indicating reduced inflammation and load. Similar results are seen in private practice. A middle-aged woman suffering from constant fatigue, skin problems, and heaviness in her side completely excluded sweets, alcohol, and processed food. She added warm rosehip tea in the mornings and switched to simple homemade meals. After a few weeks, laboratory tests improved. External symptoms disappeared, sleep was restored, and energy returned. This is where true recovery begins. Not with pills, not with harsh detox programs, but with the realization that you need to stop hindering your body from healing. Everything else will follow. If you want to support your health and help others learn about these simple but powerful steps to liver recovery, like this video. And if you have personal experience, questions, or thoughts on the topic, be sure to leave a comment. Your feedback helps others, inspires us, and makes the information more accessible. The liver suffers from stagnation. One of the subtle yet critically important factors in liver destruction is stagnation of bile, blood, and lymph. Everything that doesn't move poisons. And the liver, as an organ connected to the bile system, directly depends on how freely the fluids move in the body. Movement plays a key role here. Modern humans spend most of the day sitting. This blocks circulation, worsens the supply to internal organs, and disrupts bile flow. With prolonged inactivity, bile becomes thick, stagnates, and forms clots and sand. This creates additional stress on the liver, provokes inflammation, and interferes with digestion, especially of fats. The doctor emphasized, without movement, there will be no cleansing. It's movement that triggers regeneration. He recommended daily physical activity within reasonable limits, not for athletic achievements, but for gently massaging internal organs. These can be bends, twists, breathing exercises, and walking. The key is to activate the diaphragm, improve blood flow to the liver, and stimulate the natural flow of bile. In clinical practice, it has been observed repeatedly patients with signs of bile stagnation, constant heaviness in the right hypochondrium, and bloating experienced relief within a few days of moderate physical activity. The simple morning workout, avoiding sitting after meals, and active breaks during the day, this is enough to start processes that pills cannot trigger. A 62-year-old man with chronic cholestasis and signs of fatty liver disease got rid of the sensation of heaviness after meals within a month of regular breathing exercises, bends, and light walking after eating. His belching stopped, bowel movements normalized, and his overall well-being improved. And all this without medication, only through gentle physical stimulation. He believed that movement is a natural medicine we've forgotten to use. And if a person is ready to change their lifestyle, even at the level of activity that is already a powerful step toward liver recovery and overall body cleansing, water and warmth simple remedies that restore the liver. The liver works in the liquid environment. To perform its functions, blood filtration, bile production, toxin breakdown, it needs water. Yet most people live in a state of hidden dehydration. We drink coffee, tea, soda, but ignore simple, clean, warm water. Meanwhile, without enough fluid, bile thickens, liver cells lose elasticity, and intracellular exchange is disrupted. The doctor repeatedly emphasized, water is not just a liquid, it is an informational energy medium, without which the recovery of any organ is impossible. He recommended starting the morning with 1 or 2 glasses of warm water to awaken the internal organs, stimulate bile flow, and gently start metabolic processes. This simple action reduces morning intoxication and eases the liver's load, which has been actively processing waste products throughout the night. Equally important is warmth. The liver loves warmth. When the right side of the body or the stomach is cold, its functionality decreases. This is especially true for people who experience constant sluggishness, digestive issues, or chilliness. The legendary doctor recommended using dry heathyating pads, blankets, wraps especially in the evening, when the body is setting itself up for recovery. This improves blood flow to the liver, relaxes spasming vessels, and helps launch gentle regenerative processes. One of his patients, a 53-year-old woman with complaints of chronic fatigue, dull skin, and poor digestion, used dry heat on her liver area every night and drank warm water as recommended. After just a few days, her sleep improved, the heaviness after meals disappeared, and after 3 weeks, her skin condition noticeably improved without aggressive intervention, only through restoring the natural conditions for liver function. When we create the right conditions for the body, it begins to heal. Clean water and comfortable warmth are not secondary details. They are the foundation from which any wellness process should begin. If you like this material, please like and share your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback helps us make the content even more useful. Foods that help the liver recover. Many believe that to cleanse the liver, you need either medications or strict diets. In reality, the liver has an amazing ability to regenerate, provided we don't interfere with this process and supply the necessary elements. Nutrition is key. And we're not talking about complex schemes, but about simple, natural products that can be included in your diet today. The first step is to include foods that stimulate bile production and flow. This is important because stagnant bile becomes toxic and destroys the liver. Warm water with lemon in the morning, rosehip tea, and foods such as beets, carrots, and cabbage are particularly effective. Not only do they activate liver function, but they also improve overall digestion. The doctor referred to beets as a natural liver stimulant and recommended them both boiled and as a warm beet broth, especially in the evening. The second focus is protecting and regenerating liver cells. Here, foods rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory substances take center stage. Cold-pressed olive oil, flaxseed oil, walnuts, leafy green vegetables, and turmeric. These foods support cell membranes, neutralize free radicals, and create conditions for tissue regeneration. Example from practice. A 48-year-old man with elevated liver enzymes and signs of fatty liver disease gave up fried foods and processed foods, switching to a simple eating regimen: boiled and stewed vegetables, grains, soups, and some vegetable oils. After just 1 month, his biochemical markers returned to normal, and his overall well-being improved. The most important thing was that he felt his body was lighter, and the heaviness and sluggishness had gone. The professor emphasized that you don't need to exhaust your body with fasting or extreme diets. It's enough to eliminate harmful foods, add warm, wholesome meals, and maintain regularity. The liver does not like chaos. It works rhythmically and recovers better when eating patterns are also rhythmic, without overeating, without midnight snacks, with a reasonable approach to food quality. What we eat every day either heals or destroys. And if you want your liver to start recovering, give it calm, warm food, and remove overloads the body will naturally activate regeneration processes. The most dangerous mistake when recovering the liver is the desire to cleanse it. When a person finds out they have liver issues, elevated enzymes, heaviness, bloating, fatigue, the first thing they turn to is cleansing. Especially popular are aggressive methods: lemon with oil, magnesium, strong bile stimulants. It seems that the more radical the method, the faster the effect. But according to the doctor, this can trigger a chain of worsening symptoms. The problem is that most of these procedures disrupt the body's natural rhythm. The liver is a slow, rhythmic organ. Its recovery should be gentle. A sudden bile release without preparation can cause spasms, toxin release into the blood, and electrolyte imbalance. And the person feels not cleansing, but weakness, dizziness, and sometimes an exacerbation of chronic conditions. He always said, "Start not with cleansing, but with restoring the environment." This means water, movement, nutrition, and routine. Only when the body begins to self-cleanse can you carefully introduce herbs, mild bile stimulants, and breathing practices. But not before. He gave an analogy with a car. If the engine is filled with dirty fuel, you shouldn't immediately clean the filter. First, stop pouring in the dirt, change the oil, and only then proceed with the cleaning. Example from observations. A 57-year-old woman, after following an internet recipe for cleansing, ended up in the hospital with a cholecystitis attack. Her body wasn't ready for such a load. After several weeks of recovery, she started following the system: water, warmth, food, physical activity. Only after 2 months did she gently add herbal teas. The result: stable improvement, normalized sleep, disappearance of heaviness and pain, and biochemical levels returned to normal. The most important idea: the liver recovers not through pressure, but through proper conditions. Give the body the opportunity to activate its resources, and it will begin cleansing and regeneration without stress. And now a practical bonus. A simple exercise that activates the liver and lymphatic system. One of the most effective practices recommended by the professor was vibrational massage. In the morning, while lying in bed, gently tap your fist on the right side of your rib cage and gently shake your belly for 1-2 minutes. This helps with bile flow. It's especially useful to do this after drinking warm water on an empty stomach. The exercise takes less than a minute, but when done regularly, it delivers results comparable to more intensive procedures. If you implement even a small part of these recommendations, you'll notice changes: more energy, lighter feeling after meals, improved sleep, clarity of mind. But the most important thing, you'll stop hindering your liver from doing what it does best: restoring your body. So, friends, if you want to support your health and help others learn about these simple but powerful steps for liver recovery like this video, and if you have personal experiences, questions, or thoughts on the topic, be sure to leave a comment. Your feedback helps others, inspires us, and makes the information more accessible.